Good morning. It is the 6th of March 2023. This is Kirk in the morning. I hope that you had a fabulous weekend. I did. And we have quite a great show just lined up for you this morning. As you can just see in the background right here, this morning's conversation is all about kidney health. Remember, this is the Kidney Week, and the theme for this year's Kidney Day is kidney health for all, and we'll just be focusing on that, just looking at the causes of kidney diseases, treatment, prevention, as well as management. But first, this morning, let us start with the traffic updates. Welcome, my name is Ida Munzati, and just to remind you that we are also coming to you live, that's on Facebook as well as YouTube, Kirk TV Kenya. Just a reminder once again that this morning we will just be looking at kidney health. So if you have any question in regards to different kidney diseases, just feel free to do that, or just to ask questions. That is via our social media as well as SMS number. Let us go straight to the traffic updates. We'll just be looking at a few roads right here in Nairobi, so that you'll be able to know just how to go about your daily activities. And I'm looking at Langata Road now, from that is from Wilson Airport, just around Western Hotel until the Timol roundabout. There is a traffic. Mbagathi Way is also quite slow right there. So in case you're headed to town, you would opt for Langata Road through Nyayo Stadium, then Uhuru Highway, rather than Mbagathi Way. So we are just looking at our options right here to head to the CBD. And I'm also looking at that is from Mbagathi Way, just headed to around Kenyatta Hospital. The roads are clear out there. Just looking at Ngong Road, both roads are not looking quite well this morning, but it's bad off. That is for people on Ngong Road, just headed to the CBD. Now let's go straight to the Central Business District right here. The CBD looks a little bit clear this morning, and Thika Road is also clear right there. I guess it's not quite a busy Monday because a number of roads are clear. Kenyatta Avenue is actually clear this morning. So I think we'll just leave it at that, just to tell you that as you go about your daily businesses or just your daily activities this Monday, if you're driving, just do that carefully. Well, straight to the newspapers this morning, and definitely just be focusing on the Daily Nation as well as the Standard newspaper, just highlighting a number of stories or a number of things that will be taking place, that is throughout this week, but most importantly what happened during the weekend. We are just looking at a number of issues, but definitely in the two dailies they are just giving a priority to different political matters that happened during the weekend. I'll start with the Standard newspaper, but just let us first get the intro to the newspaper review segment. Well, to the Standard newspaper, as I said, now the story that is being given a priority right there is on matters to do with DCI and ECC, as well as the former Interior Minister, that is Fred Matiang'i. So the same Matiang'i flies back to DCI EACC storm. Now, former Interior Minister jetted back into the country and is expected to honor summons to explain to investigators source of his wealth and why he raised an alarm of a raid that never was. That's a story on the 6th page of the Standard newspaper this morning, definitely on different pages or just on the top page of the Standard newspaper. There are different stories that are being given priority. Right there we have a number of features as well as business news, but let us just go straight to the 3rd page of the Standard newspaper right here, and they are now focusing on the a story that was done by the BBC, that is as far as sex for work in tea estates stalls right there. So definitely investigations have begun in the different tea factories that were just mentioned in that particular story right there. So you can read it for yourself on the 3rd page of the Standard newspaper. And on the 4th page of the Standard newspaper, we are just looking at a number of Kenya Kwanza leaders right here, just led by the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. And according to his speech yesterday when he attended a church service right there, he says he's going to name top officials who stole 24 billion during transition. That is according to the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua right here. So I'll just be playing that bite in a few during the news at this hour for you to just listen to what exactly the Deputy President said about that. And now on the top story that we just looked at as far as the former Interior Secretary Fred Matiang'i jetting back to the country is concerned, you can get it on the 6th page of the Standard newspaper. We're just looking at a number of lawyers that will be representing Matiang'i. That is we are looking at a number of lawyers right there. Remember, the former CS is expected or has been summoned by the DCI, and he'll just be presenting himself right there. On the 7th page, we are also looking at issues to do with security, and bandits attack a village, killing 4 locals. That's a story on the 7th page of the Standard newspaper. We go straight to the Daily Nation this morning, and on the Daily Nation, they are not giving a priority to matters politics as seen in the Standard newspaper. They are giving a priority to matters employment, matters economy right here, and they are talking of where to find a job. So they're just looking at a number of trends as far as job searching in the country is concerned. They also have a number of just statistics right here as far as different sectors or different industries are concerned in terms of the number of people that have been employed in different industries, and that just focusing on construction, education, wholesale and retail trade, manufacturing, agriculture, among other sectors. And that's a story that is very important. Definitely, you can just read it for yourself on the 6th and the 7th page of the Daily Nation right there. So let us now look at matters politics, and on the 4th page of the Daily Nation, we are just looking at Raila plans a round of rallies as Ruto ultimatum beckons. Remember, the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya side had given the government a 14-day ultimatum, failure to which they will proceed with their rallies. Remember, yesterday, that is Martha Karua as well as Kalonzo Musyoka, who just attended the church service, insisted that they will continue with the different rallies in different counties as scheduled. Still on the 4th page, we are just looking at the issue of the former Interior Secretary, that is Fred Matiang'i right here, who is expected to go forth over the DCI and EACC right there. And on the 5th page, we see Gachagua, who said, as I mentioned earlier on, that he will be naming looters in Uhuru regime. According to Gachagua, he says that he will do that this week just to let Kenyans know who exactly stole the money. That is during the former, that is President Uhuru Kenyatta's regime. So that's a story on the 5th page of the Standard newspaper, and definitely the story that we were looking at right here on the Daily Nation on matters to do with employment. It's on page 6 and page 7 of the Daily Nation. So that's it for newspaper review. Well, we'll be taking a very short break. Remember, when we come back, we'll just be looking at issues to do with kidney health. Remember, according to the World Health Organization, starting today through Sunday is definitely Kidney Health Week or World Kidney Day Week, where they will just be looking at a number of issues to do with kidney health, matters to do with policy, matters to do with treatment, as well as management of kidney health. Statistics that is from the World Health Organization as well as the Kenya Renal Association just indicate that over 4 million Kenyans live with different kidney diseases. And among them, I'll just be talking to one Stanley Minor, who will just be sharing his journey as far as kidney failure is concerned. So that's a conversation that we will be having this morning. But right now, let us take a very short break. We will be right back with more.
Keep it Kirk now and going forward. We have a lot of family programs, and this being a Christian commercial station, we will partner with you as institutions, as individuals, so that we are able to reach out to the entire world. One person said that my parish is the entire world, and I believe that Kirk TV is going globally. And therefore, bring your business. We are going to advertise it and also partner with you.
To partner with us, send your financial support to pay bill number 401-9613, account partner. Pay bill number 401-9613, account partner.
Are you looking to grow your business? Kirk TV offers you a variety of advertising opportunities to suit your budget. Advertise with us today and reach your potential customers countrywide. For more information, email us on sales@kirktv.org or call 011 00 90 647.
We start a program that helps us to go on a journey to get to understand the ministers who are now retired, who spent most of their life in the pulpit and now are in the pew listening to others continue with the work of ministry.
I have retired from now employment, the formal employment, but I have not expired.
We get onto a journey to understand their experiences and the things that they have gone through, the journey of their lives that can be helpful to those of us that are still in active ministry. And we can tap from their wealth of experience so that we can know how to continue with the work of ministry.
Even the ministers we have today, I would like them to know there is today and tomorrow.
PCEA Enomatesiani Booth Boys High School is an ideal school for boys located in a quiet and serene environment, ideal for learning in Matasia, Kajiado County. The school works towards producing qualified students who become competent professionals in the society.
We offer a wide variety of subjects in our school. Our school is well equipped. We have a state-of-the-art library, a spacious boarding section, a modern kitchen, also Olympic-sized swimming pool where our students go and have their swimming lessons.
The school focuses its effort not only in classroom learning, but we also provide learners with equal opportunities, that is to hone their abilities and talents. We have games like football, chess, volleyball, among others. The climate here is also favorable for all students.
PCEA Enomatasiani Booth Boys High School is open for January 2023 intake in Forms 1, 2 and 3.
Our school is founded on Christian value. We appeal for you to register, and we know we'll be able to mentor your boys through our Christian setup.
We are going to put our boys in Christian values, and we are committed to do so at this time when the boy child must be taken care of.
For more information, get in touch via 0796 560000, 0796 560000. Email us pceaenoboothboys@gmail.com.
Uwe rafiki wa karibu na uwe partner. Ukisema ya kwamba utakuwa ukiwapatia 100 shillings, hata hiyo ni kubwa sana kwao. Ukisema ni 200, ukisema ni 1000, ukisema utaweza 5000, ni wewe tu utaamua. Lakini ikiwa consistent, tuseme ya kwamba ni mwezi, nikisema ya kwamba nitakuwa nikiwapatia mwezi kiasi hiki, ni kuendelea tu na kuwapatia na kuwashikilia. Kushikilia hiyo ni kama tunaenda mission. Sisi tunaenda mission.
To partner with us, send your financial support to pay bill number 4019613, account partner. Pay bill number 4019613, account partner.
Kirk TV is very promising, and judging from what is happening with other media houses, I would just say that our hope is that Kirk TV will continue.
Keep it Kirk now and going forward. We have a lot of family programs, and this being a Christian commercial station, we will partner with you as institutions, as individuals, so that we are able to reach out to the entire world. One person said that my parish is the entire world, and I believe that Kirk TV is going globally, and therefore bring your business. We are going to advertise it and also partner with you.
To partner with us, send your financial support to pay bill number 4019613, account partner. Pay bill number 4019613, account partner.
Are you looking to grow your business? Kirk TV offers you a variety of advertising opportunities to suit your budget. Advertise with us today and reach your potential customers countrywide. For more information, email us on sales@kirktv.org or call 011 00 90647.
We start a program that helps us to go on a journey to get to understand the ministers who are now retired, who spent most of their life in the pulpit and now are in the pew listening to others continue with the work of ministry.
I have retired from now employment, the formal employment, but I have not expired.
We get onto a journey to understand the experiences and the things that they have gone through, the journey of their lives that can be helpful to those of us that are still in active ministry. And we can tap from their wealth of experience so that we can know how to continue with the work of ministry.
Even the ministers we have today, I would like them to know there is today and tomorrow.
PCEA Enomatesiani Booth Boys High School is an ideal school for boys located in a quiet and serene environment, ideal for learning in Matasia, Kajiado County. The school works towards producing qualified students who become competent professionals in the society.
We offer a wide variety of subjects in our school. Our school is well equipped. We have a state-of-the-art library, a spacious boarding section, a modern kitchen, also Olympic-sized swimming pool where our students go and have their swimming lessons.
The school focuses its effort not only in classroom learning, but we also provide learners with equal opportunities, that is to hone their abilities and talents. We have games like football, chess, volleyball, among others. The climate here is also favorable for all students.
PCEA Enomatesiani Booth Boys High School is open for January 2023 intake in Forms 1, 2 and 3.
Our school is founded on Christian value. We appeal for you to register, and we know we'll be able to mentor your boys through our Christian setup.
We are going to put our boys in Christian values, and we are committed to do so at this time when the boy child must be taken care of.
For more information, get in touch via 0796 560000, 0796 560000. Email us pceaenoboothboys@gmail.com.
Uwe rafiki wa karibu na uwe partner. Ukisema ya kwamba utakuwa ukiwapatia 100 shillings, hata hiyo ni kubwa sana kwao. Ukisema ni 200, ukisema ni 1000, ukisema utaweza 5000, ni wewe tu utaamua. Lakini ikiwa consistent, tuseme ya kwamba ni mwezi, nikisema ya kwamba nitakuwa nikiwapatia mwezi kiasi hiki, ni kuendelea tu na kuwapatia na kuwashikilia. Kushikilia hiyo
Good morning and welcome back to Kirk in the Morning, and you are right in time for this morning's conversation. As I mentioned earlier on, this morning we'll just be looking at kidney health. Now let me just give you some numbers as far as kidney diseases or kidney failure in the country is concerned. According to the Kenya Renal Association, that is 4 million Kenyans are suffering from kidney diseases or kidney failure, and this number is expected to rise if nothing is done to 4.8 million Kenyans, that is by 2030. Now, the Kenya Renal Association as well as the World Health Organization indicate that 1 in every 10 Kenyans have a kidney disease, or 10% of our Kenyan population have a kidney disease or are suffering from a kidney disease. Now that's the conversation that we will be having this morning. So if you have any question, that just feel free to share it. That is via our SMS number 0111220044. Remember, we are also coming to you live. That's on Facebook as well as YouTube is Kirk TV Kenya. Also, just to let you know that on 9th of March, the world will just be marking World Kidney Day, and throughout this week, the world will just be creating awareness as far as kidney diseases or kidney failure is concerned. Now, the theme for this year is kidney health for all, and that's why this morning I'm being joined by a great gentleman right here, and together we'll just be sharing with you or just informing you on matters kidney health. Now, karibuni sana. And we just look forward to definitely just learning from you and understanding that is on matters kidney health. I just start with you, Stanley. Just feel free to introduce yourself to our audience.
Yes, my name is Stanley Minor. I am from Juja constituency. I live around Murera. I am a kidney failure patient. I go on dialysis 3 times a week at the South Sea Dialysis Center around South Sea. And that's pretty much my introduction.
All right, to you, Nas.
Thank you very much for having us around. My name is Ruben Kinyanjui Chege. I am a nurse by profession and specialized with nephrology, nephrology nursing. And this basically means that I'm dealing with patients who have suffered from kidney disease. Those who are experiencing the condition, and more so currently the ones who are undergoing the hemodialysis or dialysis, and also nursing patients pre-transplantation, kidney transplantation, and after they have gone through kidney transplant. I work at the Kenyatta National Hospital, which is the teaching and referral hospital. Yes.
All right, thank you for that. And I'll just start by you now that you are the experts in the conversation. Just looking at kidney health. Definitely when we are looking at kidney disease, it means that our kidneys are not functioning properly. Let us just start by looking at the functions of the kidney, and when do we say that they are not performing their functions properly?
Well, the kidney is a very, very vital organ in our bodies, in that it plays several functions. One of them is a fluid balance, such that when you take in liquids during your meals or just when you're taking in, the body will require a certain amount of fluid. Any excess of that, it's a function of the kidney to remove. And that's why we have the opportunity to pee. So that is one very, very vital function of the kidney, fluid balance. And then to ensure that you do not have deficit and you do not have an excess of the same. Another function is excretion, the removal of waste products of metabolism or breakdown of after we've taken our meals, they have been digested, the body will take in that which is required, and then we have now waste byproducts of digestion, of metabolism. Those ones now will be removed by the kidney. And specifically when we talk about the function, what we are interested most in when it comes to excretion is there's a product we call urea. which is a byproduct of protein breakdown. We also have another product that is also excreted by the kidneys. We call it creatinine. Usually it is a byproduct of muscle breakdown and as the body functions. And then the other function, we call it electrolyte balance. We have some salts, I may call them so, in the body. We have major ones like sodium, we have potassium, we have others like calcium, phosphates, and many others. So the kidney also plays a role in ensuring a balance of this. So we have the kidney removing any excess of the same and retaining that which the body needs. So that's another very vital function. And then there's another function that is formation of blood. There's a hormone the kidney produces called erythropoietin, which is a vital hormone that is required in the process of cells, red blood cells formation, that ensures that you have the adequate blood, what we call hemoglobin in your blood. So when the kidney fails, then it means the blood volume is affected. Just to mention but a few of those functions. Yes.
Of course, just from your explanation, it plays a very key role in our bodies.
Yes.
And now, Stanley, to you, just let us know, when were you diagnosed now, or when were you told that your kidney have failed?
Well, okay, my kidney journey started in the year 2015 when I started experiencing the symptoms of kidney failure. I could swell. I could wake up with a puffy face in the morning, and I could vomit every time when I tried to eat something. I just vomited. As the day went on, my legs would swell. So I decided to go to clinics around my area, and when I did some tests, the only thing that came up was that I had high blood pressure at that moment. So in the whole year of 2015, no clinic could find the cause of the hypertension. But after some time, I decided to go to Kenyatta National Hospital. That was in 2016, January. So when I went there, after a few tests, they just realized immediately I had kidney failure. And they told me I had to start dialysis immediately because the levels of the creatinine, as he said, were too high, and the urea was very high. And the blood pressure could not go down even after I've taken the medications for blood pressure. So the reason for that was I had a lot of fluid. That's why my face was getting puffy and my legs were swelling all the time. That's when I was diagnosed with kidney failure, the 2016 January. And I started dialysis immediately at the Kenyatta National Hospital. Yeah.
Okay, just before you do, let us just understand now the signs. As Stanley is mentioning of swollen legs, the face, vomiting as well. What are some of the signs, and what's the linkage? Because a number of kidney failure patients that I've interacted with keep on linking high blood pressure and kidney failure.
Well, when you talk of high blood pressure and kidney failure, sometimes we say we are not, it's like the case of the egg and the hen. Which one came first? Is it the egg or is it the chicken or the hen? Because patients with kidney failure could suffer kidney failure or the kidney problem because as a result of high blood pressure. Because once now they have the high BPs and it knocks out the kidneys. At the same time, you suffer from kidney problem and it can contribute to you having high blood pressure. So sometimes there is that link. It could have been the kidneys that brought the high blood pressure, or it is the hypertension that brought the kidney problem. However, when it comes now to those causes of the kidney disease, hypertension or high blood pressure is, I would say, number one. Is one of the major causes of kidney problems. then followed by, or rather with diabetes. Those two, hypertension and diabetes, if you talk to a number of the patients, you will find majority of them will have suffered either of the two. So that is it.
How about diabetes?
Diabetes also contributes, because also with diabetes there is the destruction of the blood vessels. There is the, I would say, thickening in simple terms of the arteries, and as they thicken or narrowing, they are not able to, they are not elastic, they lose their elasticity. Yeah, so once they lose their elasticity, then it means that there is that contributes to the patient with diabetes also having high blood pressure. So, and that now also leads to the destruction of the kidneys. Yes.
Okay. Before I just go to Stanley, because you're just helping us in giving out the basis of kidney health, you've told us of the causes, just some of the causes. Do we have any other causes? And for the symptoms, are they just two, as he mentioned, or do they present themselves differently depending on the patient?
They could, okay, when it comes to causes, we've said that now hypertension and diabetes are the leading causes or contributing factors to kidney disease. However, we have other issues that may be there. We have like obstruction of the urinary tract, and mainly, or mostly like in men, if they suffer from enlarged prostate, whether it is cancerous or it has just enlarged, it is causing what we call obstruction, and that obstruction affects the flow of urine. Then there is accumulation of fluid or urine backwards, which can destroy the kidney. So obstruction is one of the other things that can cause. And then we have other diseases. We call them kidney infections. I don't know that to call them infections or diseases. We have like, there's a disease we call, or the diseases of the kidney, like glomerulonephritis. That is inflammation of the structures, the small structures that make up the kidney. And you will find patients being diagnosed to be having something called glomerulonephritis. We have another condition called nephrotic syndrome. It also affects the micro structures of the kidney. Then once it is affected, the kidney starts passing a lot of protein and blood. You lose them through the kidney, meaning the functioning of the kidney is being affected. We have other diseases, if patients suffer from, can lead to destruction of the kidney. One of them could also be like HIV. HIV can lead to destruction of the kidney, or the drugs they take for HIV, the ARVs, they are nephrotoxic, or they can affect the kidney. So you have patients suffering from what we call HIV nephropathy. The kidney disease is related to HIV virus and also the drugs. We have also drugs themselves. We have people who are so used to taking over-the-counter medication, self-medication. And some of those drugs can be very destructive if taken over a long period of time. Yes, they can destroy the structure of the kidney and cause kidney disease. Some of them are simple drugs like brufen, we call them non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. And the common one is like brufen and diclofenac. People have a minor headache or they suffer from headache. Instead of trying to go for medical checkup, they just go for brufen, they go for diclofenac, and over a period of time, these drugs can be destructive. They can harm the kidney. Then other causes of kidney disease, we could be even traumatic injuries, crash injuries in accidents or physical blows to the kidney can cause such. And among others.
Does genetics play a role?
Thank you very much. Genetic composition can contribute, because we have some genetic conditions like polycystic kidney disease. Then we have also in babies who are born either without one kidney or with very small kidneys. Those kind of genetic issues. When it comes also to diseases, we have some diseases we call autoimmune disorders. These are diseases you suffer, and as a result, that disease is causing self-destruction of the tissues, of your own tissues or your own organs. And one of the organs that can be affected is a kidney. One of such conditions is like SLE, systemic lupus erythematosus. So that can lead to kidney disease. So we have genetics, we have those diseases, and drugs, and many other things.
Okay, all right. Now, Stanley, were you told the cause of your kidney failure, or was it just hypertension, as you put it at first?
No, hypertension came after my kidneys had failed.
Or later on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so when I look back, I realized that I had kidney failure 3 or 4 years before I was diagnosed.
Okay.
So I've been having, I had the symptoms before when I was still in high school back then. But due to lack of knowledge or maybe exposure back where I was doing my high school, I was diagnosed with malaria most of the time. They just gave me the malaria tabs and the quinines. Then after a period of time, I started getting the symptoms of swelling when I got up from doing a lot of activities in school. I could get fatigued very easily, and also sometimes my blood pressure could go high, but they just say maybe you're just thinking too much or something. So they didn't have the know-how of what was happening to me. So they misdiagnosed me most of the time. So that is how I got to take a lot of malaria medications. So when I spoke to my doctor about this, the doctor told me that when you have malaria for a long period of time, let's say 3 to 6 months, it may lead to kidney failure.
Okay.
So when I joined the dots, I realized maybe that's where I got the disease from. Yeah, and that is how I got the kidney failure. The hypertension came later because right now, because I'm managing to go to dialysis 3 times a week, I don't have hypertension. I also don't have diabetes.
Okay.
So yeah.
Just looking at the causes, as you say, he mentioned that he was diagnosed by, or he was told that his kidneys had failed. That is in 2016.
Yeah.
But you see, he puts the journey like back 4 years back, and now the World Health Organization terms kidney failure as a silent killer. Like is it the signs do not present themselves immediately? How do you tell so that the diagnosis is not too late as his?
Well, when it comes to the signs of the kidney disease, he had talked of puffiness and swelling of the lower limbs of the legs and such. There are quite a number, but sometimes they come in slowly.
Okay.
That's why it's being called silent killer, because even for the hypertension he's mentioning, it could have been there. Maybe it's not known. It's also one of the other things we call a silent killer, because unless you go and have it checked, it may not be, it could be asymptomatic, what we are saying. There may be no symptom at all. There are no headaches, no dizziness, nothing, but your blood pressure is high. The only way you can be able to tell whether it is normal or lower or high is by having your blood pressure checked. So when it comes to those signs, some of them are late signs when you are already in end-stage renal disease. When it comes to kidney disease, it comes in stages, and these stages can be slowed down, what we call reducing or slowing down the progression of the kidney disease.
Okay.
And some of those causes can also be reversed. If detected early, some of those things can be reversed. Now, you will find that we have kidney disease in 5 stages. It begins at stage 1 up to stage 5, whereby at stage 5, now that's where you require dialysis. But if you are detected early enough at stage 1, then you start getting management of either that BP or some of those conditions that could be contributing to the kidney damage. Then you are slowing the progression now from stage 1 to stage 5, and that can be in like 10 years, 15 years, depending on your compliance.
Okay.
So that's why you find that the symptoms were either they fall back, and some of them were very hidden, and then some appear in that stage where he will even require dialysis. However, The reason for that maybe misdiagnosis is because some of these signs will, I don't say mimic, or they are similar to what you would experience when you have like malaria, typhoid and such. So there is usually misdiagnosis. A number of patients whom I've met, they will have the same story. By the time they were getting diagnosed to be having kidney disease, they will have tried malaria treatment, they will have tried typhoid treatment, they will, because nausea and vomiting is usually there. And you know, if they are just getting treated maybe symptomatically without investigation, that is, nausea and vomiting presents in so many conditions. And then there is that easy fatigability, yeah, and then there is that issue of now swelling, retention of fluid. And then the other key thing that would also happen when now they start, the kidney disease is progressing, is reduced blood volume, what we are calling HB. You will find that a normal person has a HB of above 12 grams per deciliter, but once you start suffering from kidney disease and you're not able to form blood, then you start having a HB of less than 12, 11, 9, 8, even up to 7. And that is also one of the reasons why they suffer from very easy fatigability and lack of breath. Yes.
And you've mentioned of dialysis, that is for stage 5.
Yes.
Where does kidney transplant come in?
Kidney transplant can come in before even you start dialysis. There is something we call preemptive transplantation. Though we have not had quite a number of our patients doing that, a few. Once they are diagnosed early enough and for sure they are being followed properly at the renal clinic, then before they start even dialysis, they can have transplantation. But you will find most of our patients will have gotten to stage 5, they've started dialysis, and now that's when we start thinking of transplantation. But in a good setup, you could have the transplantation even done before you commence hemodialysis. Yes.
Okay. Now, Stanley, to you, statistics that is by the World Health Organization, by the Kenya Renal Association, just indicate that a number of our patients who are suffering from kidney failure or kidney diseases, it's very hard for them to afford dialysis. And for you, you've been going through that from 2016 to date.
Yeah.
And for like how many sessions do you go for? That's for a week.
Okay, dialysis sessions, when I started dialysis in the year 2016, I used to go twice a week. And back then, we didn't have the NHIF cover. The NHIF cover used to cover about half the price, and then you could pay the half by cash.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was hard actually back then. You could get someone who needed actually 2 dialysis sessions, but they didn't have the money. So they did one. Others did once even a month because of the cost of dialysis. But right now we are very privileged to have NHIF, and it covers for the 2 dialysis sessions in every center in Kenya. And the only thing that can become an issue is when maybe you have a condition like mine that you need 3 dialysis sessions to maintain your blood pressure. Then you'll have to pay the third session.
The third one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Approximately every session costs about 9,500 across the country, which is not easy for anyone to afford. It can become very hard to come by that kind of money every other week. So I don't usually go every other week. It's when I get the money, I do the 3 sessions. When I don't have, I just have to do by 2 and manage the blood pressure by other means, by maybe taking hypertension drugs. Yeah, so yes, I can say a lot of patients, I've lost a lot of friends because they were not able to get to dialysis, because it's not even just the cost of the dialysis that hinders them. Some don't even have enough money to move from their homes to a dialysis center. Yeah, and it becomes an issue, and you find someone maybe stayed at home for 1 month. When they go, it's too late, and the doctors can't help him. And yeah, so dialysis becomes a burden. The more you are, the more the years go. When you start, maybe you have friends who take care of the expenses, your family members. But as the years go, they get tired, and you see, you have to do it by yourself, and it becomes a very huge burden because maybe you can't go to work too because you have these symptoms which are hindering you from doing a lot of work. Maybe you have a fistula or a catheter. So it becomes very, very tricky to most patients.
And for how long does a session take?
Okay, a typical dialysis session will take around 4 hours to 5 hours. I've seen people do 6 hours, maybe when they are too congested. But normally it will take 4 hours in every session. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for that. And just a reminder to our audience this morning, we are just looking at kidney health. Remember, the world will be marking Kidney Day. That is on 9th March. And that's why this particular week has just been set aside by the World Health Organization to help in raising awareness as far as kidney health is concerned. The theme for this year is kidney health for all. So we'll take a very short break. When we come back, we'll just be looking at matters to do with prevention as well as management. And you'll also be getting an opportunity to understand why dialysis and what exactly happens during dialysis. So we take a very short break, but remember, if you have any question, do not feel shy to ask. We'll definitely be focusing on that as well. So we take a very short break. We will be right back in a bit.
Keep it Kirk now and going forward. We have a lot of family programs, and this being a Christian commercial station, we will partner with you as institutions, as individuals, so that we are able to reach out to the entire world. One person said that my parish is the entire world, and I believe that Kirk TV is going globally, and therefore bring your business. We are going to advertise it and also partner with you.
To partner with us, send your financial support to pay bill number 401-9613, account partner. Pay bill number 401-9613, account partner.
Are you looking to grow your business? Kirk TV offers you a variety of advertising opportunities to suit your budget. Advertise with us today and reach your potential customers countrywide. For more information, email us on sales@kirktv.org or call 011 00 90647.
We start a program that helps us to go on a journey to get to understand the ministers who are now retired, who spent most of their life in the pulpit and now are in the pew listening to others continue with the work of ministry.
I have retired from now employment, the formal employment, but I have not expired.
We get onto a journey to understand their experiences and the things that they have gone through, the journey of their lives that can be helpful to those of us that are still in active ministry. And we can tap from their wealth of experience so that we can know how to continue with the work of ministry.
Even the ministers we have today, I would like them to know there is today and tomorrow.
Welcome back. This is Kirk in the morning, and our focus this morning, we are just looking at kidney health right here, and I have an expert as well as a kidney failure patient, that is Stanley Minor, who is just helping us in terms of understanding the journey of a kidney failure patient right here. Now, Stanley, you're just trying to explain to us probably the difficulty in accessing dialysis. That is probably for someone who doesn't understand. How exactly does the sessions go about?
So a typical dialysis session will start when a patient arrives at the hospital, and there will be a nephrology nurse like Ruben Chege here, and so the nurse will connect the patient to the machine via an access, either an AV fistula or a graft or a catheter, permanent catheter or a temporary catheter. Will be the access to access the blood from the body and into the machine, so that the machine can clean the blood and take it back to the body when it's clean. So this process will be repeated for the 4 hours until maybe your UF is done. Your UF is the amount of maybe fluid you have accumulated over the time that you have been at home, or the time that you have not been accessing the dialysis. Yes.
Okay. So, Ruben, basically now dialysis plays the roles of the kidney, or the functions of the kidney.
Yes. You know, now when it comes to management of the kidney patient, we have 3 things we can do. We call them renal replacement therapy, and dialysis is one of them. You begin with the conservative management, whereby the patient is under follow-up medications just before they get to that point. Or even those who could decline dialysis, they could just be managed, what we say, conservatively, because that's the path maybe they have chosen. They wouldn't want to go through the process of dialysis. And then we have the dialysis treatment itself, and dialysis comes in 2 forms. That is what we call hemodialysis, what Stanley is describing, and we have another form of dialysis we call peritoneal dialysis. So after counseling and after the patient has been diagnosed to be at end-stage renal disease, and now the doctor has prescribed dialysis, the patient will be taken through the 2 forms of dialysis, and then they can choose one form, either hemodialysis or peritoneal dialysis. And then later on, and what we had mentioned earlier, the other form of treatment will be kidney transplantation. The other form of therapy or replacement therapy will now be kidney transplantation, which we said can be done preemptive, even before you begin your hemodialysis sessions, or now once you're still going through dialysis treatment, you now be prepared for kidney transplantation. So those are the 3 forms of replacement therapy that the patient with kidney failure will require. Now, coming to dialysis, we have now the hemodialysis, what Stanley is going through. It's common. It's what now, like, it's readily available countrywide now. We have hemodialysis centers in every county referral hospital. And with hemodialysis, the patient will have the tests done to ascertain the required dialysis. The creatinine will be very high. The urea is likely to be very high. The potassium is also likely to be very, is also elevated. The patient could also be in fluid overload. They have retained a lot of fluids, and that now indicates that they require dialysis. Then we have the center where you will need to have the trained personnel. You have your nephrology doctor, and you will have your nephrology nurses. You will require the dialysis machine itself. The machine also, in that center, we will require water. Water is very key. Without availability of water, you can't do hemodialysis. So, and that water has also to be treated. So we will require a water treatment plant to set up a dialysis unit. So once you have those in place plus the other equipment, the patient comes and they will have a creation of the means by which we shall be drawing blood from the patient. That's what Stanley is referring to as the access. He has called it temporary catheter, we call it acute catheter, chronic catheter or permanent catheter, which is inserted through the vein, a main vein, to the right atrium of the heart, just at the tip of the heart. so that we're able to draw blood with the help of this dialysis machine to circulate that blood through the machine. The blood doesn't get inside the dialysis machine. It circulates outside because we have tubings. We have the catheter, or we have what he was calling AVF, arteriovenous fistula, is a vessel. Two vessels that have been joined together, an artery and a vein. The vein will become bigger, have the characteristics of an artery, and that's why we shall be pricking, we shall be inserting our needles to draw blood from the patient. So once we have that, then comes the process of dialysis. We will have blood tubings, which will be drawing now blood from that access to circulate to the machine. And also we have another component we call the dialyzer. It's a hollow fiber thing that will act as the artificial kidney. That is where the dialysis will be taking place. That is where the exchange will be taking place. In that dialyzer, we have two chambers. We have one chamber that contains blood from the patient flowing through the dialyzer. We have another chamber containing what we call dialysate, the treated water I was mentioning, with a combination of another acid concentrate and a bicarbonate, forming now what we would call ideal blood. This ideal blood will have concentration of the electrolytes we were mentioning, the sodium, the calcium, the potassium and others in normal levels or slightly normal. And then we have in the blood, we have a concentration of now the toxins that we want to remove. So what happens in this dialyzer, there will be an exchange. There is a separation of these two chambers using a semi-permeable membrane. If you remember in our biology class, there was what we used to call a semi-permeable membrane. This will now allow diffusion, the movement of these concentrated products, the solutes, to move from the region of high concentration to a region of low concentration. And mainly, you will have high concentration in blood, like potassium, for example, will be high in blood and low in this dialysate. So you will have potassium moving from blood to this dialysate and off to the drain. And that continues for 4 hours. So if he came with a potassium, for example, of 6, by the end of dialysis, it's likely to have gone down to around 3.5. And then, of course, the other products will also pass through the pulse passively. The creatinine, the ureas are removed during dialysis. So the circulation of blood enhanced by a pump in that dialysis. There is a pump that keeps rotating, creating negative pressure, pulling the blood from the patient and creating a positive pressure, pushing the blood back to the patient. And the cycle continues for 4 hours. So a standard dialysis is 4 hours, but you can prolong it depending on the goals of what you want to achieve. During the same session, the patient also, as Stanley was mentioning, could come with fluid overload. So the machine is able to create some positive pressures in that chamber, blood chamber, some negative pressure in the dialysis chamber, and that way we are able to pull excess fluid from the patient. So what we do when the patient comes, we do a physical examination. We are able to assess the patient, look for fluid, signs of fluid retention, the puffiness, the swelling of the lower limbs or the hands, sometimes some breath sounds. You listen to the chest and you can be able to hear some sounds that will tell you this patient is really fluid overloaded. And now you come to the machine, you do some settings of how much fluid you would want to remove, what we call ultrafiltration from this patient. So in the period of 4 hours, you could remove up to 4 liters or 4 kg from this patient. And you will have weighed the patient before dialysis and you weigh the patient after dialysis to see whether you were able to achieve this goal. So that's how a dialysis session goes about, with the help of the dialysis machine, treated water there, and then the pump that is rotating. This blood during dialysis, you see it's outside the body. We call it extracorporeal circulation. It's likely to clot because it's outside the body, the temperature outside the body, the tubing, sometimes the pump can stop. So during dialysis, sometimes we give them some medication continuously to prevent that blood from clotting, because they could lose that blood, which is unfortunate. And you know, with the kidney problem, we said one of the other problems they have is blood formation. So you don't want to lose this blood during dialysis. So this continues. The WHO recommends 12 hours a week That is now the 3 sessions a week.
Okay.
Each 4, 12 hours. But our setup here, because of scarcity of resources and affordability, we normally offer 2 sessions in a week, minimum. Yes, and as he has mentioned, we have the privilege of the NHIF paying for them 9,500 per session, and which is a very, very good thing that has happened to our clients. Now that has helped to improve their quality of life and also prolong their life, because as he mentioned, when they used to pay out of pocket, many of them could not afford, and therefore many fell along the way. But at least with the NHIF covering 9,500 every session, at least it lightens the burden for our kidney patient. Yes.
Okay, now Stanley, from Ruben's explanation, I mean 4 hours, just seated for 4 hours, it's quite not a joke. I mean, sure. What do you do like during the 4 hours? What exactly happens? How does your body, how does it usually feel like?
Okay, in the 4 hours of the dialysis session, most patients would prefer to just sleep through the sessions. But you can also do sorts of things like maybe watch a video, listen to some music, talk to someone. Those are basically because you have some restriction of movement. And usually when you're on dialysis, before you go into the machine, when you're from home, you're usually tired because your body is full of toxins, maybe full of fluids, and you're struggling to breathe. So you usually feel it's the worst. It's the worst thing you can ever experience. But after the dialysis session, you feel like a new person. Your body is lighter. Maybe you've removed 4 kgs. You can feel like you're just a new person, and you can say that you can look forward to another dialysis session.
So is it tedious, painful?
No, there's no pain involved unless you have the ultravenous fistula. Then you'll have to get the prick, and that's just a little pinch of pain. But for me, I have a permanent catheter, so there is no pain. The catheter is just there permanently. Just open the access, and they connect the other pipe to the other pipe, so there is no pain. The only thing I say is you can just get really tired after a dialysis session, especially if you're getting a lot of fluid. You have a lot of fluid, say 4 liters. And you go, there's the blood pump, the pump that he said that pumps the blood out of the body. When you're going at high speeds and you have a lot of fluid, when you get out of there, it will be like, utasikia nikiwa umetoka shamba, utataka tu uende ulale tu pahali for at least 8 hours, alafu ndo utafeel uko sawa. So that is just a typical dialysis session for me. Yeah.
All right, and now Ruben, you mentioned overstaying the dialysis, and do you take medications like for after the dialysis, or is it just the dialysis?
Okay, for me, I don't take any medications. I just do the dialysis because the only other condition that I had is there are medications that we take regularly every other week or every other month, depending on how your results came in. So there are medications for bones because your bones get weak. You saw me coming with the clutches. My bones became weak, and I had fractures on my hip joint. I had to be put screws. So there are medication for bones, vitamin D, calcium, and vitamin D, calcium, and calcium. And there are medications for blood, as he said, erythropoietin, and the other one is
iron sucrose.
Iron sucrose. Yeah, you have to get them every other week. Otherwise, your blood levels will go down, and you'll have to do a transfusion, which is not usually recommended. The other medications you might be taking are now the hypertension and diabetes, if you have either of those. So for me, I usually take the bone medication and the blood medication. because they don't have hypertension or diabetes.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, now on just that note, just taking these other medications or even the dialysis, as you put it, the blood clots, probably in case that would happen. What are the chances of these other medications? Because you talked of drugs affecting someone's kidney. What are the chances of this person with a kidney failure, of them probably, of the drugs that they are taking, the dialysis, affecting other organs in their bodies?
Well, the drugs they take are for management of the conditions they have.
Okay.
If they have diabetes, they have to continue maybe with their oral drugs. A number of them, once they are diagnosed with kidney disease, some may continue with their insulin, some may have to stop for a while. Huh? But now these other drugs they are taking are also to help manage some of the complications that arise as a result of having kidney problem. Because once they suffer from kidney disease, they have mineral bone disease. That's why their bones become weak. And that's why they have to keep getting calcium and vitamin D, just trying to strengthen their weak bones. Okay. Then they have to get the antihypertensive drugs because, as we said, with kidney disease, there is a likelihood of even your BP also going up. Then they have to also get what he has said as erythropoietin to keep, it's a hormone replacement. Because their kidneys are no longer forming the erythropoietin, you give it via injection to try and boost their blood formation. So we are looking at the other organs are affected by the treatment process, not necessarily by the dialysis, but not necessarily by the drugs they are likely to take. Those drugs, the phosphate binders, they are just trying to manage some of the problems they are likely to experience as a result of having kidney disease. Yes.
All right. And now to you, Stanley, you just mentioned of even if NHIF is probably providing the 2 sessions a week, what would you say, probably just to the policymakers, the government, what would you say is the greatest challenge of a kidney failure patient and what can be done?
Okay, the greatest challenge, as I've said, is accessing, being able to afford this whole, say, experience. Because, as I said, when you're on dialysis, you're told it's a lifelong thing. And when you start, you have a lot of friends, you have a lot of family members who can support you. And this becomes a burden as time moves on. And the only other way you can help this kind of person is by maybe a transplant. That is the only thing that can get you out of this condition. Now, what the government could do to help kidney failure patients is by allowing the NHIF to cover for some of the drugs that patients are usually required to take after transplantation. Because you might find someone who did a transplant, amefanya transplant 6 months. Amemanage kulipa hizo drugs, kununua hizo drugs, and they're usually very expensive. Dr. Ruben can tell you the prices. They're usually very expensive, but not as expensive as dialysis. So it usually gets, unashindwa, why couldn't they just pay for these drugs rather than dialysis? So what I would ask the government is to consider creating new policies to allow the NHIF to pay for these post-transplant drugs because they are even cheaper than dialysis. And a lot of people have donors, they just don't have the money to do the transplant and manage the transplantation after getting the transplant. They are not able to buy the drugs. The other thing could be, in Kenya, getting a transplant is very easy if you have relatives who are willing to give you the kidney. But most of the time, like in my case, most of my relatives, we don't match blood groups, and after doing some number of tests, also we find that we can't do the transplant because maybe they have other underlying conditions that we didn't know of. So if the government could also allow non-related transplants, where you can just have someone who's willing to donate to someone, and they can just go and have their transplant, that could be a very great thing. It could lessen the burden to a lot of people, because when you're on dialysis, it's very hard to go to work. Even someone will be wondering, how will they employ you and you
keep on going like
every other
3 times a week.
3 times a week. You're off work for 4 to 5 hours. And also when you're after dialysis, it's hard to work because you're really tired. So that is what I would ask the government to do, to allow non-related transplantations, and also to work on a policy where transplanted patients can get drugs with their NHIF cards from hospitals, so that they reduce the number of rejected kidneys. Because a lot of patients on dialysis already had transplant, even twice. But due to maybe they didn't have the funds to buy the drugs, the kidneys rejected them and they had to go back to dialysis. So it becomes a very huge burden on them. Yes.
Right. That's very great, and we hope that the policymakers will work on that.
Yeah.
Now, Stanley has just mentioned something probably that I want you to shed some light on. I, as Ida, like I can't just get out of somewhere and come and say I want to donate my kidney to Stanley.
Well, you can't. And maybe it's also good to mention in this show that you cannot sell your kidney.
Okay.
Because we receive a lot of calls. We have people visiting the hospital and they come saying, I want to sell my kidney, out of maybe poverty there, and they think like if they sell their kidney, that it's going to be to help. In our country, the regulations do not allow. There is no commercial aspect when it comes to kidney donation. That is number one. Number two, our policy currently, or our laws currently, they allow life-related donors.
Okay.
You have to be related with the client for you to be able to donate. And during counseling and during preparation, we will be able to find out. We'll be able to ask questions to find out how are you cousins, how are you related with these. So we normally talk of life-related donors. That is where we are currently. Maybe in future, as we say, we have a health bill that is being worked on that maybe could allow in future swapping of maybe donors, where you have a donor whom you're not matching, he has a donor whom you can match, and then we can allow your donor to donate to him and his donor to donate to you. We are looking at those proposals. Then we have another aspect we are looking at, we call deceased donor transplantation, whereby we can be able to harvest the organs that are transplantable from a brain dead patient. But this one will require you will have to have given consent, like in other countries, advanced countries, you normally give your consent before death, that in the event that I suffer maybe from a crash, accident, and there are no chances of survival, you can harvest my kidneys, you can harvest my cornea, you can harvest my heart, those kind of things. We haven't gotten there yet, but the bill and the laws are in Parliament, they are being worked on. Once they are given consent, then, and I think they are in very advanced stages, then regulations will be put in place, how we can go about that. But as of now, we are only taking life-related donors, and there is no selling or buying of kidneys in our setting. Yes. However, we would want to encourage people to if you are related to a kidney patient, kidney transplantation and donation is doable, it's possible. And on the side of the donor, usually there's a lot of also investigations that are done to ensure that once you donate your kidney, you are also not left in danger of suffering from kidney disease. We only take donors who are very, very healthy. We do not risk the life of donors, and that's why you can come with a donor along the process. The donor is dropped because we detect they have one problem, they have BPs, they have protein in their urine, they have some things that cannot be managed, or they can be managed, but if you harvest a kidney from them, you are leaving them at risk. But in a normal situation, kidney donation is possible, and after donation, your life continues. And actually, you can survive very well with one kidney, one functioning kidney can take you well. You will still have your family, you will still conceive. If you are ready, you will still be able to give birth. If you are a man, you will still be able to have your family. You will still be able to go back to your work. So it does not affect your life because you donated a kidney.
Okay.
Yes. And then maybe to add on what he has said, when it comes to NHIF, very good. We are now having them supported on dialysis. We are looking for that in future, as he has mentioned, that it's still paying for kidney transplant. During the process of kidney transplantation, there is a certain amount of money NHIF will pay for surgery. But now what he's saying, which is very important, is the maintenance of the transplanted graft, the donated kidney. Because it's a foreign thing, it doesn't belong to you. Your body produces some antibodies that could fight that transplanted kidney. So that's why they will require some medications. We call them immunosuppressants to help prevent the body from rejecting the donated kidney. And those medications, as he has mentioned, are quite expensive. You will be spending up to 40,000 every month. And that becomes a challenge to a number of our patients. So maybe if that can be looked into, they will have really gained on that. Because now transplantation is one thing, maintaining the kidney is another thing. And that's what is also very, very important. And that's transplantation is the only way to get off dialysis. Yes.
All right. Okay. Now, to you, let us just very briefly, Stanley, how do you live your life currently, just in terms of managing the condition that you have and also preventing any other condition from affecting you?
Okay. Currently, the only way I'm managing to stay at top of everything is by making sure I don't miss any dialysis session. I usually try very hard everywhere, every means that I can get to the hospital and manage the dialysis. Because the moment you start missing dialysis sessions, that's when other problems start coming in. Like you may start having heart problems because your fluid levels are too high and your heart is fighting very hard to make sure it balances the fluids in your body. So dialysis is the first thing that I usually make sure I don't miss any session. The second thing is making sure my blood levels are always at a good manageable point where I don't have to go to hospital and get a transfusion. I usually make sure that it's around 10 to 11 to 12 points. And the other thing is the medications, the bone medications. Though there was a time where I didn't have enough money to get the medication, like the vitamin D activated. That's when I had an accident and I broke my femur. Mostly other conditions we usually get vaccines, like for hepatitis, all the hepatitis and hepatitis, I guess. That is the vaccine that I got for. COVID, we had to get the vaccine also as soon as possible because we were very vulnerable to that condition. And I guess we also try very much to maintain a very good diet that doesn't put a lot of toxins in my body. So my diet is very restricted. The amount of water I can take in a day is very restricted. The types of food that I can eat also very restricted, so that I make sure I don't get to hospital to a point where it's an emergency. I have to do this. It is just a manageable thing if you follow your diets and do all these other drug-related programs to make sure you don't find yourself in an emergency in hospital. Yes.
All right. To you now, Ruben, in terms of managing, you've not been diagnosed with kidney failure or kidney disease. How do you manage? Because we are looking at kidney health for all, both those that have been diagnosed and these people that have not been diagnosed. How do you take care of your kidney?
We would start by saying that, one, kidney disease is preventable. it is preventable, and we can be able to do primary prevention program, so that we don't get there. And one of the things we need to look at is our lifestyle, because we've seen hypertension and diabetes are major causes of kidney disease, and those are mainly lifestyle diseases. Though there is usually the aspect of family history, but if you are able to do exercises, if you're able to avoid obesity, if you're able to have your checkup, if you're able to avoid those self-medication. Some people do self-medication with some of herbal. I'm not saying herbal complementary medicine has an issue, but some of those ones are harmful without proper guidance. So if we look at prevention, there are things that we do. There is now the issue of checkup. You do not have the disease, but you want to prevent. What about men going for prostate evaluation, especially after the age of 40, because if by the time you're going there, you're having obstruction, damaging your kidney. So to avoid getting there because of obstruction, you go to the clinic, wellness clinic, have your prostate checked. What about expectant mothers going for antenatal clinic and they are diagnosed early for issues of what we call eclampsia or preeclampsia, high BP during pregnancy? And then those kind of things are basic, but they can prevent kidney disease. What about children who suffer from sore throats and they have to go and get treated to avoid them getting those kidney infections that could arise from such? What about avoiding some other issues that are hygiene related, like diarrheal diseases, dehydration, drinking of water? Because we have another form. We have majorly dealt with the chronic kidney disease, but we have another form of kidney disease. We call it acute kidney injury, because it occurs because of lack of either enough volume in the body, and that can occur because of burns, severe burns, accidents where you lose a lot of blood, dehydration because of diarrheal diseases. So if you avoid such, you avoid acute kidney injury. And this acute kidney injury, if not well maintained, can lead to chronic kidney disease. So you prevent the occurrence of such things. So kidney disease is preventable to those who do not already have it, and to those who already have it or who are in stage 1, you can reduce the progression. The rate at which you are deteriorating or you are losing your kidney function, because all of us will start at 100%, but even also as we age, we keep losing a certain percentage. But you can now hasten this by what you are eating and what you're doing. So if you can be able to manage that, then you are preventing the progression. Compliance to medication. We have people who have hypertension, but they take drugs when they feel like, or when they feel like they are having a problem. They are not following the treatment regimen by their doctors. We have people with diabetes, they are taking medications on and off, they are not following. That puts them at risk of progressing to end-stage renal disease very, very, very fast. Patients with heart diseases will require good follow-up at the clinic level. And then also health education now to our masses. That's why we have the World Kidney Day. We are talking about kidney health for all, to create this awareness such that if you have this kind of symptoms like Stanley was saying, you don't stay at home. You also visit a dispensary. If you have not been sorted, you don't go back there. You go to a higher level to have yourself properly screened. And then we have now, like during the World Kidney Day, we are doing this education and we are doing screening. Very basic things like having a urine test to check whether you have protein in your urine or blood in your urine, which can be an early indicator of kidney function problem. Then you get treated early enough. Issues of checking your blood sugar, that's what we'll be doing. And even simple thing, having your BP checked. We said it's a silent killer, hypertension. Come, have it checked. Or many have come and they are like, what? I didn't know. So it's good to have that wellness checkup.
Okay, Stanley, anything you'd want to add as we wind up?
Yes, I want I'd like people to support the World Kidney Day, which is on 9th March. The theme of this year is supporting the vulnerable and creating awareness so that you can have preventive measures like Dr. has said. Also, I'd like to give nitakupea watu wenye wako kwa dialysis motisha kabisa juu najua Kenya mnapitia na ni ngumu sana, na I would just like to give them a word of encouragement that you don't have to wait for things to get better so that you can be happy. Just do what you can do, manage your condition, and your life can be normal again. Yeah, also, yeah, that's it.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
All right. For you, very briefly.
Well, kidney disease is preventable. Let us do our part as a society and in ensuring that we do not engage in a risky lifestyle that would put us at risk of this kidney disease and even other diseases that are lifestyle related, because kidney disease is just one of the diseases that would arise from that. And let's support our patients, our clients who are having kidney disease. Let's have social support. As Stanley was saying, friends disappear, family disappear. No, kidney disease is not a death sentence. They still live. Let's support them the best way we can. And to the health providers who are working with the kidney patients, good work, continue, do not tire, and shall be well. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Stanley Maina and Ruben Chege, who is a renal nurse or a nephrology nurse. I said it right?
Yes, nephrology nursing.
All right. Thank you so much for your time,
Yes.
and thank you for shedding light. I'm sure our audience now have a better understanding of our kidney health.
Yes.
All right. So we will be taking another very short break. When we come back, we'll just be looking at news at this hour.
Keep it Kirk now and going forward. We have a lot of family programs, and this being a Christian commercial station, we will partner with you as institutions, as individuals, so that we are able to reach out to the entire world. One person said that my parish is the entire world, and I believe that Kirk TV is going globally, and therefore bring your business. We are going to advertise it and also partner with you.
To partner with us, send your financial support to pay bill number 401-9613, account partner. Pay bill number 401-9613, account partner.
Are you looking to grow your business? Kirk TV offers you a variety of advertising opportunities to suit your budget. Advertise with us today and reach your potential customers countrywide. For more information, email us on sales@kirktv.org or call 011 00 90647.
We start a program that helps us to go on a journey to get to understand the ministers who are now retired, who spent most of their life in the pulpit and now are in the pew listening to others continue with the work of ministry.
I have retired from now employment, the formal employment, but I have not expired.
We get onto a journey to understand their experiences and the things that they have gone through, the journey of their lives that can be helpful to those of us that are still in active ministry. And we can tap from their wealth of experience so that we can know how to continue with the work of ministry.
Even the ministers we have today, I would like them to know there is today and tomorrow.
PCEA Enomatesiani Booth Boys High School is an ideal school for boys located in a quiet and serene environment, ideal for learning in Matasia, Kajiado County. The school works towards producing qualified students who become competent professionals in the society.
We offer a wide variety of subjects in our school. Our school is well equipped. We have a state-of-the-art library, a spacious boarding section, a modern kitchen, also Olympic-sized swimming pool where our students go and have their swimming lessons.
The school focuses its effort not only in classroom learning, but we also provide learners with equal opportunities, that is to hone their abilities and talents. We have games like football, chess, volleyball, among others. The climate here is also favorable for all students.
PCEA Enomatesiani Booth Boys High School is open for January 2023 intake in Forms 1,
Well, welcome back. We're just from our morning's conversation that is on matters to do with kidney health, and you're now in time for news at this hour. Now, Azimio la Umoja One Kenya leaders have vowed to continue with planned anti-government protest after Wednesday should President William Ruto's administration fail to honor their demands. Led by Martha Karua and Kalonzo Musyoka, Azimio leaders maintained their claims that their victory was stolen and that the constitution of the new IEBC appointment panel was a ploy to put in place a Kenya Kwanza friendly commission.
Ndivyo mwananchi aelewe, sauti yako ikidharauliwa na kukosa kuheshimu wingi wa kura ni kudharau sauti ya mwananchi, ujue shida sitakuwa ni kwako. Leo hii kuna njaa, lakini angalia tabia ya serikali bandia. Pesa yetu waenda safari, kama ni minister anaenda na watu 30 au 40. Kama ni kiongozi badia wa juu anaenda na mamia za watu. Wanasema hawakukuta pesa. Mimi nataka mjue ya kwamba tangu akalie kiti kinguvu na kinyume cha sheria, wameokota 1 trillion plus kwa ushuru.
Mtu mmoja, yani hawe maisha yetu sisi zote inategemea mtu mmoja, haiwezekani. Hiyo imesemekana kwa mabaraza. Na tena wanasema ni makosa sana wakati huu na bunge upande wa Azimio la Umoja One Kenya, na washukuru wa bunge wetu mlitoka nje because wameapisha tayari wale ambao wanataka inaitwa panel ya kutafuta Chebukati wengine 7. Yaani tuame kutoka kwa Chebukati moja tuende Chebukati 7. Swala hilo ni la kimsingi na liko na umuhimu mkubwa sana katika historia ya nchi yetu. Na ndio sisi tunasema hatutambui mambo haya ambayo yanaendelea. Nimeona Governor Sakaja, kijana mzuri, akisema watu wazungumze, lakini hakuna mambo yako tayari kuzungumza. Sijasikia anybody, wanaona ni kama maisha kawaida. Na watu tulikuwa tukiambia vijana, wanasema nyinyi mnatuchelewesha. Tuko tayari.
Elsewhere, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua now says he will name former cabinet secretaries and principal secretaries who allegedly stole over 24 billion shillings in Kenyatta's last 3 months. The Deputy President claims that the officials were using the police air wing at Wilson Airport to share the loot.
Hawa watu walipora nchi hii. Pesa yote ya Kenya. In the next few days, I will be releasing details of billions of shillings looted from the public coffers in the last 3 months of the Uhuru administration, and announce the ministers and PSs responsible so that Kenyans can know. Pesa ya Kenya yote, saa ile waliona uchaguzi umeharibika, walibeba na magunia. Hata hii petition, huyu mzee ya maandamano hakuwa anataka, alisukumwa aweke petition to allow them room wakati ya Supreme Court inasikiza kesi waibe mali ya Kenya between the time IBC announced William Ruto as president and the day he was sworn in. They looted more than 24 billion shillings in this country. Na hiyo kesi walijua kuna pahali naenda, ilikuwa kesi imewekwa ndio wapore mali waende. Pale katika police air wing pale Wilson, ndio pesa ilikuwa inaletwa na magunia, inawekwa kwa ndege, inapelekwa kwa mtu nyumbani, inapelekwa kwa mwingine. In the next few days nitatangazia wa Kenya pesa ilienda kwa nani.
Elsewhere, the United Democratic Alliance, that is a UDA Secretary General, Cleophas Malala, now says all parties that form the Kenya Kwanza Alliance must wind up into political outfit. According to Malala, Kenya Kwanza constituent parties cannot continue in their current status and must dissolve and join the party that sponsored William Ruto into presidency.
Dissolution of parties or mergers of parties within Kenya Kwanza is an ongoing discussion. It's a discussion that is not cast on stone. It's a suggestion that has been brought about by our party to ensure that we have a strategy towards winning the 2027 election. As I said earlier, as a Secretary General, my objective is first to ensure that we get a re-election for our president come 2027, and we must do that with a landslide. My second objective is to ensure that we have a super majority in Parliament, that is both the Senate and the National Assembly, and in our respective 47 county assemblies. We want to have a super majority in the Council of Governors. And therefore, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. So we are saying that we must have a strategy. We cannot be fighting with an enemy across the river, and on our side, we are fighting each other. So it will be my humble submission to my colleagues within Kenya Kwanza. Let us think. The ideas are dynamic. Political ideas are dynamic. They grow every day. It is not viable to run a party with 3 members of parliament. It is not viable, politically viable, to run a party with 10 MCAs. It is not even economically viable to have a party that you're running, and yet, even as a party leader, the member of parliament that is representing you is a member of UDA. It doesn't make any political sense. It is not sensible to have the President of the Republic of Kenya chairing cabinet, having a party, and within his cabinet, we still have other small competing parties. I want to take this opportunity as the Secretary General of UDA to thank the
And First Lady Rachel Ruto has continued her attacks on the LGBTQI+ debate as she calls for the promotion of family values. According to the First Lady, the family institution is made of a father, mother and children, and therefore supporting LGBTQI+ is going against the family values, religion and Kenya's tradition.
Tunajua kwamba sisi nchi ya Kenya ni nchi ambaye inamcha Mungu, na tungependa tukue na hiyo family institution ambaye tuko na bibi, tuko na bwana. Hii mambo ingine ya kufanya hii mambo hii, sisi tunasema kwamba hiyo mambo si mzuri na tungependa. We want to strengthen the family institution where we have a father and a mother and children. So we really don't wish to get into that conversation of LGBTQ, because really that is not what our traditions and even our Christian values talk about in this great country of Kenya. And we know that the Bible is also against that. Kwa hivyo tungependa kusema kwamba tushikilie mambo ya familia.
Well, and that statement from the First Lady as far as LGBTQI plus is concerned marks the end of our news at this hour, as well as Kirk in the morning this Monday. Thank you so much for keeping me company from 8 a.m. in the morning until now. My name is Ida Munzati. I'm wishing you a blessed Monday.